Hey there! So I got a little break that you probably didn't even notice because who cares? But anyway, quite a few things happened. First of all, today I finally reached 500 subscribers, which may not seem a lot, but for me it's such a milestone. I'm so happy that there's 500 of you here on my channel. And also, in the meantime, I made myself a little sewing space. It's just a desk in my bedroom, but I'm so happy that I don't have to set everything up every time I want to sew. It just sits there and waits for me. And so today I have a little sewing video, a thrift flip to be exact. And it's just gonna be one thing because I feel like I need a slow start after this little break. And I want to flip this skirt. So it's actually my mom's old skirt that she haven't worn for quite a while. It's, I would say, a church skirt. I don't like its length. Also, it's a tiny bit too big for me. Nothing extreme, but it is a little bit too big. But I really like this fabric. I thought that it would make a great dark academia skirt. I want to make it shorter. I want to take it in a little bit, and I want to add a slit here in the front. It's gonna be a little bit of a challenge for me, probably because it has a lining, but I hope I will figure it out. And yeah, I think that's it, and let's just start. First thing that I decided to do was to get rid of these weirdly small belt loops. I figured I'd just remove them on the front and leave them at the back for now. So I grabbed my seam ripper and removed the top stitch. The bottom part turned out to be sewn in the waistband seam, and I didn't want to rip it, so I just cut it as close to the seam as I could. Then I tried it on and marked with a safety pin where I wanted my slit. I decided to rip the waistband seam from the marked point all the way to the zipper that is on the side, because I didn't want a new seam on the front of the waistband. I think it looks better when it's a solid piece of fabric. My lining was already partially ripped from the waistband, so I continued to rip the seam there and then also the front seam until I got the waistband completely detached. For now, I decided to leave it all attached to the zipper, but later on I also removed that, as you will see. Then I grabbed a soap and marked where the slit would be and just proceeded to cut it all the way from the bottom to the top. Top layer first and then the lining. Unfortunately, I cut the lining while cutting the top layer, but I didn't worry about it too much as it would be cut short later anyway. I tried it on. Didn't film it as it's all cut, so not very YouTube friendly with my panties out and about, and figured it wasn't too big in the hips, so on the slit I would only take in 3 centimeters, so my usual 1.5 centimeter seam allowance. So I first overcast the edges that I cut and then pinned the main fabric together and sewed just a little bit at the top. Then I did the same with the lining. I sewed it on the side that touches the main fabric, so the seam allowance would be hidden inside the skirt. I tried it on again and marked my desired length and the place that I want the slit to end. I used a measure to mark how much I want to cut all around and added 3 centimeters allowance for a hem. I got the lining out of the way so I don't accidentally cut it this time. Then I flipped it to the wrong side and just eyeballed the length that would be shorter than the outer layer. I replaced the safety pin that I marked where the slit would be with a regular pin and sewed it to that point. Then I made the seam allowance lie flat on both sides of the slit and I pinned it. I made 2 seams, one on every side of the slit's seam, approximately 8 millimeters from the seam. This is to make a slit kinda hemmed. Remember to make sure lining and waistband is not in the way so you don't accidentally catch it while sewing. Then I wanted to finish the bottom, so I overcast it all around and then pinned a 3 cm hem and sewed it. When it was done, I marked my slit on the lining and cut all around it so the lining doesn't show in the slit while I'm moving. I also adjusted its length and I just overcast it and didn't hem it because I'm lazy and it won't be visible anyway. And it was the time for the scary part, reattaching the waistband. I couldn't quite figure out how to reattach it while it's still sewed with the zipper, so I took the hard decision and removed the zipper from the waistband too. Now I just decided to follow the original way it was made, and first I pinned one side of the band with the lining and then sewed it. When it was done, I stuffed the front piece of the skirt inside the waistband and also continued the original seam that I ripped earlier. I did it all the way to the zipper. I did not do the best job, and inside it doesn't look as the original seam, but well, on the outside it's fine. Then I tried to pin it together back with the zipper. It was hard to make it work. I ripped a bit of the seam at the top of the waistband so I have some space to maneuver it. I have no idea how on earth I took the skirt 3 cm in, but the waistband wasn't really too long. So I made it work in the end, and I used a zipper foot and sewed it, and then sewed that bit of the top seam that I ripped earlier. I would recommend really making sure it fits on the waistband before sewing everything together, because in my case it was obviously still too big and I gave up and just took it in at both sides of the waistband a little bit, and it was all. Alright, that's it. I hope you liked it. I really like the result. I think that it has this great dark academia vibe. I would definitely not wear it in the form that it was before. So yeah, I'm sure that I will wear it now, especially in that spring that is coming. If you liked it, then consider subscribing for more cross-stitch and sewing related content. And make sure to leave a comment if you want to see more thrift flips from me. I have quite a few pieces that I want to flip, including some more of my mom's unworn clothes. And please click the like button if you liked it, and I think that's it for today. So see you in the next one. Bye!